There's a massive wombat.
I know it walked around the wilderness retreat. It was unbelievable. I hope he doesn't dig holes in the foundations and we fall over in the middle of the night.
Never seen. I mean, I have seen wombats in the wild, but just roaming around like that.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's really cool though.
No.
Just out there and just the wombat was just there, just outside.
Just right there. Can't wait
right
to have
on
the
cue.
Barbie.
If only I had a camera outside outside the wilderness retreat, we would have seen it. Would have been
absolutely.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Wombats.
Yeah.
Wombats everywhere.
Just amazing.
It is just
absolutely
amazing. Thanks
amazing.
for inviting me here.
Oh,
It's
you're very
awesome,
welcome,
though.
George.
Oh,
Yeah.
hello. Oh, hello. Welcome to our wonderful friends, our wonderful tourism partners from the United Kingdom. I'm George. I'm going to be your host. I am here live for Sydney Melbourne Touring. Sydney Melbourne Touring and Destination Gippsland. We are right here at the famous southernmost point of mainland Australia at Wilderness Retreat at Wilson's Promontory. Wilson's Promontory National Park. It is a most amazing place for nature lovers, and we're going to talk a lot about this place. But before we go on, it is a live stream, so thank you for joining us. And on the bottom of your screen, there's also a chat button. So if you want to ask us any questions, please do so while we're doing this live, because we'd like to hear from you. And now let's start. I like to hear from our first guest, ladies and gentlemen, from Sydney Melbourne Touring, Paul Cooper.
Hey, George, how you doing?
Good, Paul. How are you?
Oh, look, I'm awesome. The best thing about it being 9:30 in the UK is that it's, now 7:30 here.
Absolutely. And you're certainly enjoying your wine. I'm kind of a little bit jealous at the moment.
Gippsland, of course. Yeah. Beautiful Gippsland wines. Absolutely stunning.
And Gippsland is one of the main part of your Sydney Melbourne touring. Tell us about your road trips.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about the road trips, George. We've got some fabulous road trips, but you mentioned that we're at Wilson's Promontory at the moment. I mean, it's affectionately known as the Prom. That's what we always call it, is the Prom.
Prom.
Yeah,
Prom?
which
Sorry?
is the Prom.
Prom, sorry.
Yeah, we just call it the Prom. I'll come back to that in a moment. We're looking at the road trips here now, so you can see we've got two key drives. These are the road trips that we market and promote. One of them is the Sydney Melbourne Coastal Drive, and the other is the Sydney Melbourne Inland Drive. And if you look down at the bottom of that map, you can see Wilson's Promontory. That's where we are right now, George, where that big dot is.
Absolutely. And we're going to focus mainly this small part of Gippsland, of Wilson's Prom. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that Wilson's Prom would have been named by an Australian, George.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so, because if it was named by a Brit, it would have been called Wilson's Pom.
Come on,
I'm sorry. And it's so early in the morning in the UK at the moment. I'm sorry, Claire. I didn't mean that. Okay.
Very, very cheeky of him. And, well, it's great to catch up with you. But we're going to obviously talk a lot about it. But before I do, tell us about what we're going to see.
Well, normally I've got 10 minutes to talk about all the road trips that Sydney Melbourne Touring offers. But now we're going to spend this half hour talking about this beautiful part of Victoria, Australia. This is Wilson's Promontory National Park in all its glory.
Stunning.
And you can just see the shots here that we've been out exploring. George, I've been running around with my video camera getting all sorts of things to show you as we progress through this live stream to the UK.
Victoria. You can't go wrong with Wilson's Prom. We'll talk to you a little bit later on. Paul will be going to a lot of locations. He'll be talking a lot about this amazing wilderness retreat and, of course, a lot of wildlife from the Prom. So
I certainly will. And I think earlier today you caught up with one of the rangers.
We did. We caught up with the main ranger. His name is Brett Moran, and very passionate man. He's been here for a very long time. And we caught up with him. Let's have a look. But coming on board right here is the main man here at Wilson's Promontory National Park, the head ranger, ladies and gentlemen, Brett Moran. How are we?
Thanks, George. How are you?
Good to see you, Brett.
Welcome to my office.
Welcome to his office. This is an office that everyone will die for. You probably got the best job in the world, haven't you?
It has its moments.
It's
definitely a nice drive to work.
So tell us, when's the best time to visit the Prom?
Well, George, every part of the year has something different to offer. It's all subjective to what you like. The most popular time of the year is definitely summer, where you get those beautiful blue, turquoisey waters, and people come from all over Victoria and the world to walk along those beaches.
That's Squeaky Beach, isn't it? Looks like it.
don't know. I don't think it is, but that's all right. It is. You can't tell. They're all beautiful.
They are.
So the most popular time is summer. So warm days and school holidays. I mean, thousands of people flock to the prom to appreciate vistas like that tongue point there.
Tongue point. Oh, look at this view. Wow.
But it's also very busy at that time of the year. It is. So my favourite time of the year is around about now. So in the southern hemisphere, autumn or fall.
Autumn, and it's less crowded.
It's less crowded. If you can avoid the weekend, sometimes it feels like you've got the whole park to yourself.
That's what you need, and it's such a huge park. What is the accommodation range here at the prom?
Well, it is one of Victoria's favourite camping destinations, so that's the primary purpose. There you go.
Camping there.
Yeah, great. But we also have a wide range of accommodation available. Our most popular are our 2-bedroom cabins, which are perfect for families. Yep. But we also have smaller units, as you can see there. They're perfect for 1 or 2 people. Yep. And we also have lodges which can sleep up to 30. So a wide range of accommodation. But our most unique and luxurious accommodation is what you're seeing on the screen there. They're called our wilderness retreats.
And our agents can sell this, yes.
They can, yes. So through inbound tour operators. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Perfect for couples. And there's just 4 of these tents in its own exclusive part of the park.
Absolutely. So, I stayed on it last night, and it was the first time I've stayed, ladies and gentlemen. Can I tell you something? The experience is, it is 5-star accommodation underneath the tent, and just hearing the ocean and how clean it is, and you've got your own self-contained bathrooms. It's like you're in a 5-star hotel, but in the wilderness, and you feel like it. So massive privilege to be here, so thank you for that.
Really get close to nature for the wilderness retreats.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to wrap up things here with Brent. So Brent, thank you for joining us, and I know you're a busy man, so you need to go back in the park. So thanks very much to Brent. Brent, so we heard all about the wilderness retreat. I believe Paul is ready to show us this area now. Are you ready there, Paul?
Thanks, George. Now, Australian animals normally like to find a nice, quiet, secluded spot where they can feel protected and be able to graze around and be at one with nature. Well, here at Wilson's Promontory National Park, that's exactly what they've done for us humans, with the accommodation known as the wilderness retreats. Where the wilderness retreats are located, you can't drive a car through, but there's 2 car parks on either end. One at the top side for Oberon and Verica, and one down this end for Latrobe and Bishop. Now, these wilderness retreats are right next to me, but they're so private you wouldn't even know they were there. There are 4 retreats, and they're located adjacent to the tidal river campground. They're also not too far from the beach, where you can hear the waves crashing. What a great way to go to sleep. Now, the wilderness retreats are actually luxury safari tents, and over the tent they have another protective cover as well. Let's pop inside and have a look. Now, the first thing I notice when I come in is the space. There's so much room in here. You've got a lounge for 3, a table over here, then you've got the mini bar and tea and coffee making facilities, and you can separate these rooms by closing the zips down here. So you've got one room here and another room in here, which becomes the bedroom. Now, in here we've got the queen size bed, and we've also got the little chest over here with a couple of bathrobes on the top. Inside is a bathrobe for a 3rd person, plus there's some blankets and towels in there as well, and there's a heater in the corner in case you get a little bit cold. Now, I did mention a 3rd person for a reason, because underneath here is a 3rd bed. So if you've got a 3rd person or you're travelling with a child, they're welcome at the wilderness retreats. What about the bathroom facilities? Well, I'm glad you asked. So just on the other side of the queen size bed is your own private ensuite with a beautiful shower, wonderful amenities, and of course the convenience station. Oh, and don't worry about the bloke in the mirror. He doesn't come as part of the package. Now, when you're staying at Wilson's Promontory National Park, it's self-catering. You won't find a 5-star restaurant here, but you can do your own 5-star cooking. And if you're staying in one of the wilderness retreats, your key will also access the community kitchen. And here it is right behind me. Just come in and have a look. Everything you could imagine in a kitchen is, well, pretty well here. You've got 2 toasters, 2 microwave ovens, 2 gas cookers, and there's 4 hot plates on each one. Then you've got a large sink, all the, well, that's the garbage bin, that's exciting. Then you've got all of the, wine glasses and colanders and plates and all sorts of things like that. And you've also got a full-size refrigerator over here with a decent-sized freezer in there as well. And of course the big fridge. So If you really want to cook up a storm, you can certainly do that here at the Wilderness Retreats.
Well, they're definitely going to put this in the itineraries, no doubt. And with the Wilderness Retreat, ladies and gentlemen, you have to pre-book this well in advance because it is a very popular destination and, very popular product to book. So there we go, Wilderness Retreat. Thanks, Paul. Now we are going to introduce Destination Gippsland, and a big hello to Kelly McCarthy. How are we, Kelly?
Good. Hello.
Awesome. So thank you for joining us. I've known Kelly for a very, very long time.
Long time.
And she worked in accommodations before. And, tell us about the accommodations outside the prom.
Yes, we have outside the prom, just outside the prom gate, we have Lamosa Rise. We're seeing some footage of this now. It's got beautiful outdoor seating areas.
So where is this actually?
Lamosa Rise.
Lamosa, okay.
Yeah, so this is a view across the inlet to Wilson's Promontory.
Yep.
They have 3 self-contained cottages. One's a studio, one's a 1-bedroom, one's a 2-bedroom. They have their kitchenette facilities, wood heater, all have Wi-Fi. They're very family-friendly accommodation as well, so you can bring your family. They have access to the beach down there. There's a 40-minute walk down to the beach, so you have the option to extend your stay and spend some time relaxing at the accommodation.
So inviting, yes.
This is Bear Gully Cottages. So they have 4 self-contained cottages, and they have access to their own private beach down there as well. This accommodation is 35 minutes from the park gate. So, and they have a 2-night stay at this accommodation, which we think is a fantastic idea because there is a lot to see around the area as well. So they're close to Waratah Bay, which is Walkerville South Beach with this historic lime kilns down there, Cape Liptrap Lighthouse as well. So there's a lot to see in and around that area as well.
And is it bookable for internationals, for the UKs to book it? So
yep, absolutely.
Perfect. You can't go
lock
wrong.
it in.
It's very inviting. Now, the Wilson's Prom, it is 2.5 hours drive from Melbourne, Wilson's Prom, so it's really not that far. But if you're a person who don't drive, and how do we get to the prom?
Well, I'd suggest you book a trip with Great Southern Escapes. So they do a 1-day touring option leaving from Melbourne. They leave on a Monday, a Thursday and a Saturday. So a lot of flexibility there. They're a small group tour. So they've got a Mercedes van and they have up to 11 passengers on that tour.
Fantastic.
Andrew from Great Southern Escapes will be with us shortly.
Yes, he'll be.
He'll know a lot more about it than I do. This is he has some great access to wildlife viewing down and around the prom. And they're a family-run business as well. So he's the 6th generation of a Gippsland family running the tour. So which is fantastic.
Well, I can't wait to talk to him.
Exactly.
Looking forward to it. And what else does the prom have to offer, or the Gippsland has to offer?
Well, we'd really recommend that you take your time getting down to the prom and also on your way up through the Sydney-Melbourne coastal route. Gippsland has a string of beautiful villages, so we suggest you take your time and check them out. This is Lock just here.
Oh, that's lovely.
Lots of beautiful antique shops and cafes, beautiful local produce. They also have their own brewery and distillery, one of the best gins in Australia. So you stop in for a cheeky gin on your way down the coast. Further down the line, you'll come across Meenian, which is a real foodie mecca for Gippsland. They have a festival dedicated to garlic. They have beautiful Meenian pantry and cellar with imported goods, local produce. This is Trulli Pizzeria, some of the best pizza you hope to come across.
I'm so hungry at the moment.
Yeah. And also this little secret we thought we'd share with you. This is the Bunurong Coastal Drive. As you can see,
about this. It actually looks better than the Great Ocean Road.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It winds away across the top of the cliffs, but also down on those beaches you've got a selection of...
Oh my God, look. What's
this
that?
is Eagle's Nest. It's a rock formation just off the coast.
Wow.
You've got loads of rock pools to check out, surf beaches. It's also the site of one of Australia's most prolific dinosaur fossil sites as well. So there's a lot to see in and around the Inverloch region. So we'd really suggest that you book in a night here if you can. This is the RACV Inverloch Resort, which is beautiful luxurious accommodation. They have a restaurant on site. Fantastic local food there as well. And if you have time, you could take in a surfing lesson. Is that you, George?
That's me. Yeah, I'm a big surfer.
Oh, yeah,
fan.
huge. Yeah, we're right into it.
No, thanks a lot, Kelly. That's very insightful. And the thing with what we've just been presented is that one of the things I've noticed when I came to this region, it's such a huge region. It's not many tourists come here, but it's got so much hidden treasures that will definitely, excite the self-drive. So thank you very much, and hopefully next year, before we go, hopefully next year, we're going to see a bit of the Gippsland Lakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
And let's have a look at it now. Oh, where's this?
This is Tarrabolga National Park.
Oh.
So this is the Corrigan Suspension Bridge up above these spectacular tree ferns.
Awesome.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
My God.
Yeah, just a little bit further down the coast from Wilson's Promontory. And from here you can easily access onto the 90-mile beach. Which
Stop it. Look at that.
Actually 94 kilometres long. So we don't like to underestimate anything in Gippsland. And up towards the end of the 90-mile, you'll come across Raymond Island here, which has a massive koala colony, so you can go koala spotting.
God.
This is the Gippsland Lakes region here. So this is actually 7 times the size of Sydney Harbour. So it's massive. Beautiful, still glassy lakes here. You can learn to stand up paddleboard, do some kayaking, take a boat cruise or a yacht, and just really spend some time immersed in this beautiful region.
I can't wait till next year when we do the live stream here. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Definitely put it on your itineraries, ladies and gentlemen. So don't forget Gippsland.
Come and see us.
Come and see us. So thank you, Kelly. And let's cross back to Paul.
Wilson's Promontory National Park is a wildlife haven. Birds, emus, kangaroos, echidnas, and of course the wombats. The park also has some awesome walking tracks and trails. So when it comes to wildlife at Wilson's Promontory National Park, it's one of the best places where you can actually see them, especially the wombats. And where else in Australia can you get this close to an Australian native wombat? They are wild animals, however, so you should never feed them. Human diets are not good for the health of any of our native birds and animals. Always respect that you are in their place, so let them have the right of way. Wombats are nocturnal, so it's not often you see them during the day, except here at Wilson's Promontory National Park, where they are often seen grazing as people just walk on by. One of the reasons that people like to stay at Wilson's Promontory National Park for more than a day is the walks. There's so many of them, and they're very clearly signposted, like this one. You can see the Lily Pilly Link Track, Pillow Point, Squeaky Beach, or the Tidal Overlook Circuit. Now the beauty of these signs is they all tell you the distance of the walk and an approximate time you should allow to get to the other end. There's also maps that you can pick up from the park office, which give you much more detail. It's a great way to discover this piece of paradise, the southernmost tip of mainland Australia. Do it on foot. You'll see so much more. This is a boardwalk which goes alongside Tidal River, and along the way there are plenty of fishing stations. That's right, you're allowed to fish here. George, I'll be back later to check out one of these great walks in more detail. So for now, it's back to you.
Thanks, Paul. Love your socks. It actually matches your shirt, but mate, you've got a pretty good job there, so thanks for that. And speaking of having a great job, coming to Wilson's Prom, coming to Gippsland, there's so much thing to do, land, self-drive, but you know what else you can actually do around here, and it's probably one of the best experiences you'll have in the world, is the marine life. And welcome back to our live coverage to Wildlife Coast Cruises. Brianna, welcome back.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. So Wildlife Coast Cruises runs tours, cruises from Port Welshpool, and you do cruises to the Prom. So tell us more about that.
Alrighty, George. Well, we do a 9-hour cruise that leaves from Port Welshpool. You'll aboard the comfortable Brianna Lee, which is named after me.
Oh.
It is so comfortable on board, nice and spacious, visiting a beautiful cove called Refuge Cove. You'll have lunch there, nice beer, wine, view some beautiful rock formations and coastlines. See amazing wildlife as well on those cruises. Lots of bird life, lots of dolphins.
It's fantastic.
Oh, it's absolutely stunning. Beautiful areas.
This is what I want to see.
Skull Rock.
Oh, yeah.
It is absolutely fantastic. It is huge. You get to touch it sometimes.
Fantastic.
The swell's nice. Visit Kanana Island where the seal colony is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Watch them slide down. Sometimes they take each other out, but it's really entertaining to watch. The dolphins, we definitely get regular sightings, and the whales.
Yeah, I heard about this. You actually see whales on your cruises all year round?
No, not all year round, but September months we'll see the whales down Wilson's Promontory, so September through to November. They'll be on their southern migration back to Antarctica, so they are quite relaxed and they are quite playful.
What a photo.
Yeah, so they will be travelling with their calves, and quite often they are very playful, like I said before. They actually, sometimes they synchronise breach, which that means they're jumping out of the water. And we do see a tail quite often as well.
Great. Wow.
Yeah, that's a spy hop, so the whale's actually looking at you, basically, there.
So you actually see on these trips dolphins and whales.
Dolphins and whales and bird life and seals. Oh, so much wildlife on these cruises.
And combine it with kangaroos and wombats and wallabies and echidnas all over the place.
Oh, yep, definitely. And sometimes we even see emus at the beach.
Oh, fantastic.
You're going for a swim?
That is just so refreshing to know, and also it's so refreshing to know that you run a wonderful operation, you and your family, Wildlife Coast Cruises. So tell us about the other trips you do.
So our other cruises that we do leave from Phillip Island. There is plenty to offer down that area. A beautiful Cape Willamai cruise that departs from San Remo, goes for about an hour, viewing beautiful coastlines, beaches, cliffs, caves, you name it. Absolutely
Beautiful.
Stunning area. Pristine waters as well. The seal watching cruise, it will take you out to Australia's largest breeding colony of Australian fur seals.
Thousands of seals here.
1,000 on a daily basis. You'll see about 8,000 seals.
And you also accommodate, and I know this pretty well, that before the Penguin Parade, the world famous Penguin Parade, you can do your cruise.
Yep, you can.
And it's all organised through nature parks. Yep. Or yourselves.
Through Wildlife Coast Cruises, our cruises. We do have a boat, the eco boat, through the nature park as well.
Awesome.
We've got the winter whale cruise, Wildlife Coast Cruises there. You'll see dolphin sightings quite regularly. Whales, 90% chance, so definitely fantastic. The dolphins and seals like to play with the whales quite often as well.
I mean, you'd be surprised. So remember that name, guys, Wildlife Coast Cruises. You've got it all. Dolphins, whales, seals, you name it. Thank you very much,
Thank
Brianna.
you, George, and we hope to see you on board.
Thank you very much. Now, it is live TV, so we're going to cross from Brianna, and we talked earlier on about how to get to the prom if you're not self-driving, and we've got Andrew Davidson from Great Southern Escapes. How are you?
Hey, George. Good to see you.
Great to see you, and tell us about what you offer to the prom.
Well, George, we're a small family-run business, so we offer small group touring.
Fantastic.
Very personalised. Our focus is on nature-based touring, and our tagline is "Adopt the pace of nature." We operate out of a very small 12-seater bus.
And they're Mercedes-Benz, so it's very luxurious.
Bus. That's
awesome.
right, yeah. So lots of room, plenty of room. Nature-based. We're seeking out wildlife encounters in the wild. There's my 7-year-old son washing the bus. He asked me to make sure I mentioned his name because he feels like he's a important team member.
Fantastic.
And so what we're trying to do is incorporate the nature experience with also the journey down here, and that involves all our tours are fully catered.
Yep.
We call into local cafes. People on our tours get to meet local people.
Local people, but the local people is you. You're the local person. You're the one who's passionate about this this tour and this region. And what days do you travel on this tour?
Well, currently we operate Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on our day trip.
Awesome.
And then come September, we launch into our 7-day-a-week program.
7 days a week.
7 days a week service into the prom. Yep.
Full quality, and this is the prom tour you're doing?
Yeah, look, and to be honest, it's not a chore, I've got to tell you, because this is probably the most stunning part of Australia in my view. And, we find that people get down here and by 4 o'clock they're completely relaxed and immersed in nature and don't want to go home.
And I understand that not only do you do day tours, you're actually going to offer lots of different options to come to the prom.
Exactly, George. So the overwhelming feedback that we get is that they're just not here for long enough. 1 day is just not enough. So we're introducing a multi-day program as of September where people can book private tours, come here for several days at a time. And we have a number of accommodation options.
Including the wilderness retreat?
Including the wilderness retreats,
fantastic.
obviously.
Yep.
Imagine, staying here overnight and having wildlife all around you.
Blown
we
away.
also utilise some of the private operators outside the park as well that Kelly mentioned before. And these are stunning places to stay at. And so what we want to make sure is that wherever we put people up, that it's a truly inspiring experience.
And I also understand, like you said, you do private tours, so you can do private tours to Phillip Island as well.
We'll go anywhere in Gippsland, including
Phillip
Island,
yep.
Tara Valley, Tara Bulga National Park that was on the screen earlier on, or further into East Gippsland.
And you can't go wrong because he is local. So if you want to know everything about this area, Gippsland, with a local guide, in 5-star comfort is definitely Andrew. And Great Southern Escapes. Please write that name down. Great Southern Escapes. Thank you. You're our saviour.
Thanks, George.
Thank
nice
you very
talking
much.
to you.
Nice talking to you. And Paul is about to take a walk.
Thanks, George.
Thanks.
Mount Oberon is probably the most popular walk here at Wilson's Promontory National Park. As you can see in this shot, once you get to the top of Mount Oberon, you're looking right down on the Tidal River campgrounds. But it's not the only walk you can do at the prom, and so many people miss out on some other great walks. There's tracks and trails all over the place. This one is one of my favourites, Tongue Point. It's before you get to Tidal River. So pull up the car, grab a bottle of water, your camera, maybe a snack, and take a walk out to Tongue Point. Some walks can be more challenging than others, as in hills to climb and so forth, and other walks are like this one, nice and flat and easy to do, although there's a little bit of a hill at the start, but it's not too challenging. And you're walking along amongst all of this Australian native bush, and all of a sudden there's an opening and you're looking out over Bass Strait. It's a wonderful way to discover Australia. Been walking now for about 45 minutes from Derby Saddle to this point, one of the lookouts as you're on the Tongue Point walk. The last 250 metres was pretty challenging though, so I would recommend you have at least a moderate level of fitness if you want to do this walk. But what the reward is the views. From this point we can look straight down onto Tongue Point. We've got the beautiful islands of the Prom over here. As we walked up we had glimpses of Whiskey Bay and also Squeaky Beach, and heading up that way is Phillip Island. So the views are spectacular. You can see forever.
Oh, well, that was pretty good. I'm here at the Wilderness Retreat, guys, and where's Paul? Speaking of, here he is. Look at him. Hello, Paul.
Are we finished?
I think we're finished.
Are we still going?
Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I was about to take it out. Oh, Paul, look at you. I'm stopping. Sorry. This was definitely not scripted, ladies and gentlemen. Great live TV, yes.
Can you just check if my hair's dry, George?
Your hair's looking good.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Paul, now it's been...
We only do this in the UK, don't we?
We only do this in the UK, but it's been a fantastic journey, especially doing these live shows. But Sydney Melbourne Touring, who does this whole production and presentation, has been absolutely fantastic. And you can't do it without your wonderful partnerships.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have some wonderful partnerships. And, of course, just before I talk about those, it's just amazing when you think about how big these wilderness retreats are, George, when we've got 2 sets in the one wilderness retreat. You know, a moment ago we were all on the couch, and now we're getting ready for a sleep because it's been a long day.
It has.
But the partnerships we have are absolutely awesome, George. Many great partners, including Big 4 holiday parks. Big 4 holiday parks have so many great parks right along both the coastal drive and the inland drive. We have the New South Wales Caravan and Camping Industry Association, and their biggest chapter of members is actually on the south coast of New South Wales, George.
Awesome.
So plenty of parks along there with absolute beachfront, just beautiful. The Murray Regional Tourism Board, of course, up there on the mighty Murray River. Some of our member regions up there include Echuca, Moama, Sun Country on the Murray, and beautiful Albury-Wodonga as well. And then you got Canberra, of course, further north, and Bendigo further south, making up our inland drive. And of course, THL. I think when we came down here yesterday, we lost count on how many Brits and Maui vans that we saw as we were coming down, because they are just so popular on the Sydney-Melbourne Coastal Drive, and a lot of them go onto the Great Ocean Road, taking in that beautiful Peninsula Sea Road, you know, going over to the Bellarine Peninsula and then heading down along the road to the 12 Apostles. So it's a great way to do the drive, whether it's Sydney, Melbourne, or Sydney via Melbourne all the way through to Adelaide is a great way to do it. And speaking of Melbourne, it's the headquarters for Visit Victoria. We couldn't have done these live streams without the the wonderful partnership that we've had for many, many years with Visit Victoria.
Great production, great initiative by Visit Victoria, and just to showcase these wonderful places, and especially Gippsland. So
yeah, George, I'd also like to say a very special thank you to Anthony and Indy. These are the guys in the background, so they're going to come around behind the bed, I think, and do a little bit of a wave at the moment.
You don't see all this equipment.
Yeah, Indy there, Anthony doing his star jumps. That's the first time I've seen him exercise in 6 months. And Indy, of course, he's actually from London. He's from the Ealing area in London. He's out here on a working holiday. No, I mean, did I get it right? He's been teaching me the Queen's English apparently as well. But these are the guys who are behind the scenes operating the auto cues over the last 12 live streams that we've done. And, of course, Anthony, Mr. Technical on the computer, sort of driving all of that sort of stuff as well. And we've also had such a fabulous cast. Come on back, guys. Come on.
Hello,
Come
guys.
back
Here. Come back. And
come back and join us for our final live stream and our final goodbyes for this current series of live streams.
And also it's just been fantastic being here, Wilson's Prom, and Brommy, Wilson's Prom, and
not Wilson's Prom.
And if you guys are over Brexit, just book a holiday, just get out and just come down to Victoria here at the beautiful Gippsland region.
So thank you so much for being a part of our live stream. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch it. If you didn't see it live and you're watching the recording, make sure you let us know that you'd be interested in seeing the next live one. And when we schedule some more, we'll be sure to let you know. But George, I guess my final thank you is to you, the host with the most. You've hosted 12 live streams for us now.
And I've loved every single minute of it. And I can't wait for the next one.
I love it when you say, stop it.
Stop it. Oh, stop it. That's unbelievable. Definitely, guys. And obviously from all your agents and all our tourism partners, when you think of Australia, what do you think of? Victoria. And most importantly, right now, what do you think of is Gippsland. This is the place to be. I can 100% recommend this. Thank you.
All right, we should sign off, and we love you long time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Yay. Bye.